Good evening everyone. Welcome to day 19. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Nathan.
Let's have a look, see what our picture is for today. And the picture today is a drop of water. Today's story is called Preparing the Way for the King, the story of John the Baptist. Elizabeth and Zachariah had their baby boy, just like God had said, and they named him John, just like God had said. As he grew up, they made sure John knew all about the promises God had made about him, how he would prepare the way for the king who would bring God back. And every night they sang to John to sleep with a special song. God couldn't remain, sin drove him away, but now he has heard what we hoped and we prayed. God is coming to earth to stay. From the time he was born, in fact, even before he was born, John had a special something about him, some kind of special spirit, and he knew it was to help prepare the way for the king. Maybe that special spirit explains why John did some of the odd things he did. What kind of odd things, you say? Odd things like only wearing clothes made from camel's hair. It's nice and all, but sheep's wool is much cozier. Odd things like living in the wilderness with all the wild animals. Camping is fun for a night, but it gets old after weeks and weeks. Odd things like only eating a special snack of grasshoppers covered in honey. The honey sounds nice, but I think I'll pass on grasshoppers.
But even though John was different, God was with John. Even when he was wearing uncomfortable clothes, even when he was alone out in the wilderness, even when he had to eat bugs, God was with John. Because God was with John, God's people went out to the wilderness to listen to him. Day after day, this is what John would say: open up your ears and listen. Open up your hearts too, because God's got something to say. He's sending a king to make the wrong things right and the dark things light. He's sending a king who will bring God back to stay. To help everyone get ready, John baptized people in the Jordan River. It reminded everyone of all the times God has saved his people by bringing them through the water, like he did with Noah and his family. Then one day, while John was baptizing, John saw him, the man who would change his life forever, the man who would change everyone's lives forever. Who do you think John saw? Do you think it was the king? Do you think it was Emmanuel? You're right, it was the king. But before the king was a man, he was a little boy, and before he was a boy, he was what? That's right, a tiny, poor, helpless baby. While John was waiting, he would hum that song his parents sang to him each night. God couldn't remain, sin drove him away, but now he has heard what we hoped and what we prayed. God is coming to earth to stay. And today's letter is just a space. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.